Teaching in 2026, presented and narrated by Kathleen Bowman for the class of SLS 1122. New Student Experience, Fall 2016, taught by Professor Christy Cheney. This is in memory of my Uncle Johnny Riggs, 1944, passed away January 12, 2016. He was a Vietnam vet. He was a Nevada penitentiary history teacher. He was a son of the Union veteran of the Civil War, and he was a world traveler. This is in memory of him. As you walked before me, Uncle John, I too promise to always inquire, always compile the world's complexities through observing it. I will always question it, and I will do all this while holding myself ethically responsible in educating it along the way. I started over 3 decades ago acquiring my degree, but I found myself raising 3 boys to adulthood, then turning around and raising another boy, adopted, all while finishing my AA, and then my BA, and then acquiring my teaching credentials certificate so I could teach at an elementary level. By then I acquired my MA so I could finish my teaching career at the collegiate level. When I look back over the cost it took me to get here, today it falls in the many thousands, which I blessedly was able to afford from weekly paychecks and loans from my relatives. I did a lot of substitute teaching at elementary schools in Sumter County, Florida for teachers who were out sick or on leave. This enabled me to get hands-on experience and be able to talk with those more experienced teachers on staff while I was working. This allowed me a professional level of experience while working toward my teaching credentials. In my elementary classroom, I had opened the little minds to look further down that path the world had designated for them, and to either form, change, or improve it so that others may wander down that same path and use them as an example to follow, so they won't have to worry about tripping over a branch or stone and be able to focus more on improving themselves and the world. In my collegiate classroom, I will teach as a professor, hopefully Florida Studies. Uncle John, I know you built and established and taught at a school in Minnesota. Where? I don't know exactly, but I remember hearing Mom talk about you doing it. Yet you never bragged about it. You never spoke of it. You were always a humble soul in your accomplishments. I eventually went to teach at an academic level at my favorite university. I did not build it, but I did have the opportunity to teach there. Teaching behind bars? After I taught at my university for 4 years, I wanted to apply myself in teaching to those who made wrong choices on the streets. So like you, Uncle Johnny, I too went to prison to teach, so that ethically I could implant an educational tool in their minds that was positive, so that when they exited into the city's populace, they would be well endowed with the right types of thoughts to make choices that they would be able to use for their success and progress, so others can see them as examples So, Uncle Johnny, here it is, 2026. I'm teaching at a prison just as you had before me. I seem to have followed in your footsteps instead of the women in my past family lineage, who married, settled down, had children, and maintained their husbands. I have walked a long and bumpy way as a woman from my Kanzila family in Michigan to stand where I am standing today, helping those unfortunate to have an education, but get one. I believe my job is done.